Hi, my name is Matthew. I'm from California, United States. I am currently living and studying out here in Taipei, Taiwan. And about 2 months ago, I underwent a ventral hernia surgery at Taipei Hernia Center. I've had the hernia for about 10 years now. I originally had it diagnosed my senior year playing high school football. I went to the doctor at the time, and the doctor actually told me that it was a minor hernia, or it could not actually be a hernia. So he said it was okay for me to continue playing sports as if nothing was wrong. And after that, I continued playing football and then moved on to playing basketball, did a lot of surfing, snowboarding, a lot of action sports. And in the past 10 years, I've actually, unfortunately, undergone a number of surgeries for my arm as well as both of my knees. So coming to Taipei, Taiwan, I realized that I wanted to get my hernia actually fixed as it slowly started getting bigger and bigger. And I had tried going to other doctors prior to going to Taipei Hernia Center. I went to see a doctor in Seoul, South Korea. And they actually told me that it wasn't a hernia and that I would be okay to continue playing sports. And I wasn't comfortable with that response. So during my classes here at NTU, I was discussing with some of my classmates about possible hernia surgeries. And fortunately, one of my classmates had recently undergone a surgery at Taipei Hernia Center, and he recommended that I go check out Dr. Lin's facility and at least speak with him and see diagnose my symptoms. All right, so after I had spoken with my classmate, I ended up sending an email to Taipei Hernia Center and getting in contact with the staff over there. Immediately, I was sent back an email scheduling a time to meet with the doctor. So the following week, I actually ended up at Taipei Hernia Center, sitting down with Dr. Lin and his staff, going over my possible hernia, and he was quickly able to diagnose that it was a ventral hernia in the middle of my abdomen. To me, I was quite surprised, as I mentioned earlier, that I had already seen a physician in Korea, and he wrote it off as if it wasn't a hernia. And Dr. Lin was able to quickly diagnose it as a hernia. So he asked me how fast did I want to get it fixed. For me, I was quite surprised about it because I had waited nearly 10 years to get this fixed. And basically he said, I can get you into surgery in about a week and a half. So I said, that's great. I scheduled an appointment. He gave me all of the information of what I needed to review. I watched a couple videos about what the process would actually be on the day of surgery and what the surgery would entail. Also was given information about what was to be expected after the surgery. And how long the recovery time was. What was essential for me actually was that I was going to be preparing for a marathon at the end of about 3 months after surgery, so I wanted to make sure that I had a sufficient amount of time to be able to train for that post-surgery. So day of surgery, basically I was given the medication on my prior visit to Taipei Hernia Center, and the nurse and their staff ran me through all of the procedures and steps that I needed to do on the day of surgery. So the night before I wasn't able to eat and I had to take a medication. So I ended up coming into Taipei Hernia Center at about 8 a.m. Because my surgery was scheduled for about 9:30 in the morning. Was immediately greeted by the staff there. They welcomed me and then brought me to my room, where I would sit down for a little bit and get comfortable because I would be spending the remainder of the day actually recovering in the room. There I left my bags, and then they took me downstairs to where I'd be undergoing surgery. I met with Dr. Lin briefly. We had talked about, what I would be expecting and how we would be going forward with the surgery. I was given all of my my scrubs, that I would be going into surgery. And then I was guided down to the actual surgery room. Obviously, being a person that I've gone through a number of surgeries, this is always a very exciting and nerve-wracking experience, but I felt very comfortable with Dr. Lin there and the other staff at Taipei Hernia Center. Ended up laying on a table and then waking up about I think 2 hours later after the surgery, and I was being pushed back to my room, where I would spend, as I said earlier, the remainder of my day. Immediately I realized how quick and how seamless that surgery actually was. And then as I recovered in the room, I had a constant service from the nurses coming in and asking me if I was okay, did I need any assistance. I had read up a number of times about this place and knew what the procedures and what they were expecting of me as a patient. They really encouraged you as a patient to get up and move around to speed up the recovery process. So basically I was there about from 12 in the afternoon until 6 o'clock in the evening, resting, where I at that point ended up being able to go home and rest at my own place. To me, this was a big surprise because I've always, after surgeries, had to spend an overnight stay. So this was a big relief to be able to go home. At about 3 weeks after surgery, I really started noticing that I was recovering quite quickly. I was moving around and I was moving as if I hadn't had surgery. But I had to keep in mind that I did have surgery, so I was wearing a compression belt around my stomach to make sure that the pressure was kept tight on my stomach. And then there was another follow-up as I went to Dr. Lin's office. I'd seen him a number of times since the surgery, just to make sure that I was recovering quite well. And then as the time went on, I started getting the green light to be able to actually exercise. And about a month and a half in, I started jogging and started just doing small cardiovascular exercises to make sure that I was still staying in shape. As I said, it was very important to me. And now that I'm 2 months out, I'm able to swim, I'm able to run, I'm able to do a lot of things that I had done before. I'm still holding off on weightlifting because I don't want to re-injure myself, and I know it's important not to put too much pressure on your stomach. One of the benefits of this type of surgery was a natural surgery as opposed to the traditional mesh surgery that a lot of people do. The mesh surgery for me wasn't something that I really wanted, and this type of surgery, I knew that the recovery time might take a little bit longer, but in the long run was much better because of the skin grafting together. So that was something super important to me as a weightlifter that actually attracted me to Dr. Lin's facility. So as I mentioned, now I'm able to run, swim, and do a lot of things that I've wanted to do, and I'm feeling a lot better and feeling a lot more comfortable moving around, and I look forward to the continued rehabilitation aspects of it. About 3 weeks after surgery, I really started feeling a lot stronger and a lot better. I had gone to see Dr. Lin about 2 times since that time period. He had made sure that I was recovering well and just gave me assurance that everything was healing properly. And about a month and a half later was when I did a follow-up appointment with Dr. Lin, and he told me that I was able to start exercising, light exercising, as in jogging, swimming. It was extremely important to me, so I wanted to make sure that I was feeling good after surgery and that I could start exercising like I wanted to. One of the things that brought me to Taipei Hernia Center is the natural tissue repair that they do there, which is a lot different than the mesh surgery that a lot of people do for hernias. The natural tissue repair actually reduces the rehabilitation period by healing a lot quicker, by grafting the skin together, as well reduces the size of the scar. As mentioned before, I have a number of scars all over my body, so this was something extremely important to me, and I know when you have a large scar, how long it takes to be able to feel comfortable to move it around because it's very tight. So I'm about 2 months out now. And I'm swimming about 1,000 meters every other day and jogging about 4 to 6 kilometers a day. So I can tell right now that the surgery has gone extremely well. I don't have any pain whatsoever, and I feel that it's actually really strong and really reinforced. I think that had I gone another route, I might not feel the way I feel now, so I'm very excited and thankful to be able to go through Dr. Lin's clinic, and I look forward to the months ahead with recovery.